Hi team, good evening. We came live. Anyhow, at 6 p.m. we will begin the session. Just joined in advance. Can someone confirm me, those who are listening to me in online from YouTube, able to hear me? Please, could you please put a text message? Hi Irfan, good evening. Is my voice is audible? Please let me know that. Okay, at 6 we will begin the session. Yeah, thank you Swati and Irfan for replying. Also, good evening Zoom team, and also good morning. We have time. Let me be on mute. We'll start session at 6. Hi, Akhtar. Good evening. Hi, Kirti. Good evening. Hope you are doing good. So, just 3 more minutes. Exactly at 6, I will begin the session. And I forgot to record it. Let me start recording also. Okay. Yeah, I'm good. Datari. Hi, Ganga. Good evening. Mm. Yeah, welcome. Datari, if you're already paid member, then I think you check the Zoom meeting. I just check the group. I shared the Zoom meeting. You can even share and through that also. Okay. Hi, Kanna. I hope you're doing good. Good evening. AV music. Good evening, AV music. I don't think it's a spam. Someone is attending for training. It- Okay. Just 1 more minute, then we will begin the session. Very good evening, AV music. Joswar. Good evening. Okay. It's 6. Okay, team. Let's begin the session. First of all, I welcome you all for QA manual testing training, both a Zoom and also YouTube team. Very happy. I think after a long year, after more than a year, I didn't come online. Quite busy with my existing organization work. So this going to be a live training. Of course, it's going to be free for QA manual testing. And those who already paid, who already communicated with me, 5th August only, we are going to start Selenium. So before that, I just want to just brush up all the fundamentals of manual testing. So only manual testing, I'll be coming live from 5th August next month. Then it will not be a live. We will have only a conversation in Zoom meeting. So you no need to worry about it. So that's the first thing. I hope a lot of questions were raised in the live chat. So I think it is only for manual testing. Okay, welcome you again for the training. So my name is Vinoth. I hope you all know it. So in short, I have around 12 plus experience. I'm going presently working as a corporate trainer. So my primary role is I have to train the resource and make them ready to clear the client interviews. So that's the major role. So today, let's begin manual testing. So rather than this is the first term when someone asks you, most of them they say manual tester rather than be specific functional testing. Why? Because the manual testing itself, two categories are there, functional and non-functional. If you put non-functional, performance testing, so many things, security testing, so many things are there. So in the resumes, when you specifically say that you have an experience in something, then it should be clearly says that it's a functional testing. It's not a manual testing. This is the first thing you should understand. Okay, before we move on to the topics, we must understand why we want to learn testing, especially manual testing, and what is the importance. And if we know how worth testing going to add a value to your organization, then only you will understand the importance of it. So some of the list of product launch failures happened in the history. Some recently have taken like 6 events, which shows the importance of testing, and actually it created a very big impact in the company wise. Let's understand. So this is like the slide is like, if testing is not properly done, what will happen? So that is what the meaning of this particular slide. So the first one, and everyone please be on mute. I'm putting all on mute, all Zoom team. If you have any queries, once the session is over, I will stop the live streaming. Then we will discuss. Please note down all your queries. We'll definitely discuss. But let me now, as of now, go in a flow. Okay, first list of product failures. This shows what's the importance of testing. So first one, Microsoft Windows Vista in 2007. You know very well Microsoft product. Bill Gates, he was one of the richest person. For a decade, he was in top 10. Even now also he's ruling that industry. But for that company also, when they came up with Microsoft Vista, what happened is they found a lot of problems like compatibility issues with the hardware and software, performance troubles, and more than frequent crashes. Actually, why it happened when they did a research, it happened because of insufficient testing and rushed development in sense, and no big time is given to the development team. That leads to a very poor failure, and this got a very bad feedback from the customers and from the business. This is the first which happened in 2007 and 2012. You know very well Apple product. So when in 2012, we know Google Map is widely used by everyone, but they want to replace that with their own Apple Maps. If you have an iPhone, if you have iPhone, you can check that app. In 2012, when they released, what literally happened is there is so many backslash have okay inaccuracies, some features are missing, and more than that there is confusion in the directions. So actually this create a very dissatisfactions among the users. This literally happened. After that, in the second release, third release, they made it in the right way. Then comes healthcare.gov government. Actually, this website they have launched to give an affordable online market for medicines. But what happened is, again, technical issues, glitches during the initial release, and suddenly due to the high volumes of the users, that leads to crashing of the website and also very long waiting time, the loading time. This again made the product failure. This again very very important. It created a big impact in Samsung company itself. In 2016, Samsung Galaxy Note. Usually, this in the history of Samsung, this is the major product launch fail actually. Battery issues. I hope you all remember batteries used to catch fire or even explode. This happened because of inadequate testings of the batteries. More than that, it created very high significant damage to the Samsung brand reputation. If you, it's like if you go to airport, they will be in a poster, they will mention like if you have a Galaxy Note, it is not allowed. Such impact it created, especially for traveling. So again, it happened. Why? Because no proper product testing is done. So this is app testing, web application testing, app testing, uh, application testing. This is a product testing. And this is again Boeing 737 MAX in 2019. If you have an habit of listening news, two accident happened, two fatal crashes within a very short period of time. Everyone got died. Then a big investigation came. What was the ground truth is that they will have an automated system. It was not properly tested. The design and due to the system design was not up to the level and insufficient testing. And due to that only accident happened. I think the automated system name is something maneuvering characteristic augmented system, this MCAS, which was not properly tested. Now you can understand what a small careless mistakes in the testing can lead to a company. If your share market, if you follow the stock exchange, at this time, Boeing faced a very big loss, billions of dollars it lost after that continuous two accident, and they stopped all the Boeing 737. After that, just imagine it's not a small phone. All the flight it should come to their own location, have to work on the software. Such a big task. Why? Again, insufficient testing. And COVID, let's come to our Indian market, 2021, when our government decided, okay, let's go for Covaxin or COVID Shield, the injection for COVID-19, they launched this website and no one expected like that many number of users going to log in at that time. Finally, what happened? Apart from homepage, nothing was working. If you go inside, usually we have that OTP issue. You have to log in, you will get that OTP message, which needs to be entered in, I think, 1 minute or 2 minutes. That was not working. And we are unable to book that particular medicine. So this is just few years back it happened. Later, now it's good. See, all the product are still, all the companies are existing, but a very minute or not giving importance to the testing will lead to big problems. So that's what the point you should understand. So testing is not like everyone says, hey, testing is very easy. You can go and join. You're going to do control C, control V, copy pasting. In one way, it is correct. One way in correct in sense, everyone can become a tester. No doubt on it. It's such an easy. One second. Yes, Kirti, class started. Okay. Can someone confirm me? Able to hear me, right? From Zoom team, put a text message. You are listening me, no? Yeah, thank you, Kanna. Okay, fine. Please check your mic. So now you understood. Yeah, where I left is testing. Yes, definitely anyone can become a tester, no doubt on it. But who going to be a quality tester is important. 1 minute team, one of our team members playing some issue. Okay. So so how to become a quality tester? That's the primary objective of this training. So that's now you got now you understood what's the importance of a testing. Now, another thing, developer versus tester. Any organization you're going to take, definitely there is a cold war between these two roles. Developers always feel proud about what they code, and testers again used to tease developers with defects. But first, we have to understand this is not like a cat and rat. It's their job. Why a testing teams do such activity? Finding the faults. If you think psychologically, if anyone tells you did this mistake, we will not accept it. Leave about software testing. I'm going to say you maybe you're speaking a little bit grammar mistake. Suddenly we get short temper or we may scolded. We will say some reason for uh, for justifying that mistake. So that is what the problem even in product development. A person who going to code cannot find his or her own mistake, and that's the first thing. So you need another team. That is where this testing team came into the picture. But here again, the testing team going to pinpoint your mistake means definitely it's going to be a little bit of cold war, no doubt on it. So what is the role of a developer? First understand, how can I make it, how can I develop it? First, I have to understand the requirement and then develop it. That's the role actually. When you consider about a testers, how can I break it? Break it in sense, literally, you have to find defects bug. So what does that bug means? They said like login page, you enter username, password. You have to test it in different combination and make them understand like this scenarios not working. So it means your duty is to find the faults according to the requirement. That is very important. So by chance, by naturally, if you are a good fault finder means for you testing will suit so good. And now any of automation testing we are going to see later. So developer is one roadmap, functional testing is another roadmap. Now we have something called automation, which is our part of training. So when you want to become an automation tester, you should know how to play both the roles. For example, as per the requirement, try to create or automate the application. And then you should know as a tester if that automation test script can able to find defects or not. So two roles you will be playing. So just understand now itself. Developer's duty is to create it. Tester duty is to break it, find the faults. So at the end, if you see, no big difference. They have the same goal to improve the quality of the product. Okay, this slide is done. Now let's see some testing fundamentals. What is software testing? Again, as per the international standards, what we are going to do, I'm going to test it. Since we are learning about software testing a software, identifying the difference between this is what important actual and expected condition based on the requirement. It means what your duty is to find actual and expected. Now you will understand. Now you may think, what is actual? What is expected? Very simple. When you login means you're going to enter username, password, click on login. When you log in, you should able to see the homepage with your name and your banking application means all the details related to that. So expected means already we know that when we click on login button, we will be seeing the home page. That's an expected condition. Already we know we will be having the test cases. Actual means When you do the testing at that time, whether you're able to see the home page or not, that is what important. So this actual and the expected, if both of them are same, then we will say it as fast. Sorry, both of them not same, then it is called as bug. In terms of development, they say bugs or else defects. Usually testing team say it's a defect. So this is what our aim in the testing, and we are going to do that in two ways. And everything needs to be tested according to the requirement means we will get these are all needs to be tested. These are all the like login page, home page, so many requirements from the customers, we will get it. That is what we have to follow it. And this is classified into two types. One is manual testing. So when you're going to perform it manually, of course you're going to do it manually, then it's called a manual testing. But here the manual testing itself is classified into two types. One is functional and non-functional testing, which we will be seeing in the later part. Functional means application GUI, it's the functionality is working or not. Non-functional means what if suddenly 1 lakh users comes into the picture, performance, whether the security testing is properly done, what if application is crashed. So non-functional testing, that's a totally another roadmap. In our training, we are going to fully focus on functional testing. So when you're going to do this manually, it's a manual testing, or mostly be specific in your resume, put functional testing. This is a very basic things. And when you test it, you should test in terms of a perspective of end user. Okay, what if you are the customer? How will you test it? That is what this says. And check the behavior. Is it working accordingly? It's properly, the screen navigations are happening, and the requirement, we should follow the requirement. So we already have all the test cases, test data, everything we'll be discussing in the future. So when someone is going to do it manually, it is called manual testing. And then comes automated testing or automation testing. So you will use some tools, so many tools available in the market. Using that tool, with the help of some programming language, you can able to test the application. That is an automated approach. When you do such things, it's called an automation testing. Why is that important? Because you can't work 24/7. It's impossible, but code can be executed 24/7. That's the first thing. And when you do an automation, there are some tasks, very tedious tasks, which when you do it manually, more chances for errors. But automation script will never do such errors. So many advantages are there. It is going to be speed up our testing process. Okay, what is the deal with that? Some days what you're doing it manually for 10 days, if it is completed in just 1 or 2 days, means almost 9 days you save that much amount. That is why every organization makes or push everyone to learn automation, because that is going to be a big profit for the organization. So in simple, you're going to test using the automation tools. And we will be learning about Selenium, Java, all the frameworks in the automation testing module. So I'm just giving you an heads up. So that's what the software testing is all about, just fundamentals. Now, okay, let's move into the next part of the topic. 1 minute, team, and just checking the chats. Okay, cool. No questions. YouTube, if you have any questions, you can post it. I used to see after every topic. 1 minute. Okay, software development lifecycle. So if you're going to develop a software, they said you should follow these protocols, these rules and regulations. If you do like that, then only you can able to deliver product on time. So that is what software development. So you're going to develop a software, and it has a life cycle. Life cycle means step by step, some process needs to be followed. So it's a software project within an organization which will have a very detailed plan how to develop, maintain, code, and all the stuff. And if you follow this, definitely going to improve your software and overall development process. And this is specifically in every product when they're going to come into the market, they will follow SDLC. A lot of interview questions will be asked from this area. So many methods are there. For example, waterfall model, V model, iterative model, spiral model. Right now, something called agile model, that is the most used in organization. So that's a last topic. We'll come to that after completing this one separate module. So now before we pitch into the types of all these SDLC, going forward, I will say SDLC means software development lifecycle. SDLC model, let's try to understand, because the same step only, some 6 steps there, the 6 steps only we are going to follow in all the model, but the approach is going to be a different one. Approach means maybe sometimes first these 2 steps, after that final step. So approach may be different, but this going to be the exactly same for all the software development lifecycle. So when you all understood this properly, then those topics going to be very easier, and you can easily compare between each module, because that is what, again, one more interview question, like what is the difference between V model, waterfall model, why you want agile, why not waterfall model, which for project comes under waterfall model. So many questions they will ask. These questions will not be in internet. If you properly understood, then only you can answer such question. So let's consider, for example, e-commerce. When you e-commerce like Flipkart, Amazon, let's consider a small example. First phase, what is important is, it is requirement gathering and analysis. Actually, this is 2 phases. Requirement gathering means, okay, for example, Flipkart is there. Now Amazon decide, okay, I'm saying it in reverse. First Amazon came. Now Flipkart decided, why can't we open a new e-commerce website in India? And later they will try to understand the requirements, analyzing like whether my product will succeed. So many things they will be doing it, requirement here. So that is what this are 2 steps: requirement gathering and analyzing about the market. First analysis will come. Based on the analysis, the requirement gathering will happen. So let's put first, let's go for the analysis. This just assume, or in most of the cases, clients or the customer stakeholders will have the requirement. They will be already completed the analysis, and they will come to the development team and testing team, says that, see, these are all the requirement you should develop and give to us. So here we will be getting a document. We call it as requirement specification document. This will have all the features. For example, e-commerce means home page, it should be. Then comes login page, then product adding to the cart, like that, everything how it should be. They, in this requirement specification document, it would be clearly mentioned. And also here they will identify the goals, features, functionalities of the software. It's all written based on the end user. Going forward, this word will be used. End user means what? Customers. As a customer means the person who going to use this product, that we say technically end user. Keep this point in mind. So they create requirement specification document, and then what will happen? Mostly this thing will happen between developers, stakeholders. That is, the person who going to develop will involve here in some model. In some model, testing team also come into the picture. We will have a call. In, for example, today, if I am the customers, you, some of them, you may be a developer, some of them may be a tester. I'll be saying, see, I want to create an e-commerce website. This should be like this. So one by one requirement, I will be explaining you. You will understand. Definitely, you will have some doubts on it. You used to ask questions to me. I will clarify that. So this will go for few weeks and depends on the type of models we are going to use. So that's what requirement gathering analysis. Okay, now we have this comprehension document which gives what are all things to develop. And then comes the next phase is design phase. Design phase means what? So it is nothing but the software architecture is defined, like how the overall system needs to be created, how it needs to be broken into small modules, how it should interact. This is actually the foundation for the development. Here, if there is any mistake, development is going to face a big problem. So proper design is important. So they will be creating here in the design phase, two things will come into the picture. 1 minute. I will show you some document. Stay in line. Okay, please confirm me from Zoom team. Can you all able to see some architecture for e-commerce? Please put a text message. Yeah, thank you. See, this is what I mean. In some project, what will happen is this will be provided by the customers itself. That is the stakeholders. So they will be saying like, okay, I'll just go back. Okay. 1 minute. See, you can see if you're going to develop a product, so you're going to use from a browser or a mobile app, and authentication, OTP, it should be there, and server to server, it should be able to connect it. And then what is the database we are going to use it? Like this, is there any third party payment? Because you're going to browse, you're going to add a product, and again, what's the next thing? The payment is important. When you say payment, GPay is there, phone pay is there, mobile net is there, credit card, then debit card, so many payments, so many banks. You can imagine how complex it will be. So this is what the idea. Architecture is everything in the product. Sometimes what will happen, if it is the project starting from the scratch, this will be again created by the UI designer. There will be another person in the team who have very good thing knowledge about how to design this particular diagram. So when we talk about design, two things will come into the picture. One is this architecture diagram. Keep this point. Deliverables are very, very important. Again, I'm saying I'm totally following a different approach. This, if you know, you can able to answer all the type of STLC model. Try to understand what will happen in a project. So we'll gather and design. When we come for a design, understanding the architecture diagram. So, okay, this is how the architecture diagram going to be module wise, how the information will go. You can see this arrow marks. See here, arrow marks. Now, that is one deliverable. Second deliverable is, we call it as wireframes, or wireframe means it's just like a image, a photo with simple sketches like, okay, login page means in the top right corner, it should be like this. So they will give you an idea about how that application it should be. That's where it, one sec. Okay, design. So here we have the document, which is nothing but the requirement document. I'll put RD. Many requirement documents are there. And here mainly we will have the architecture, architect, plus we will have something called wireframes. Okay, how the application to be. Sometimes you have UI designer means they will be designing, okay, this is how the page should be with a proper following all the color standards they will show us. So that's where the design phase will happen. 2 level we are done. And the question is, yeah, real-time example, RST documents and all, I will show that for sure, Yogesh. On day one, it's too high. Let's understand as an overview how the project will be. First, try to visualize what is happening, because most of them from the non-IT. So this is what they will do it. And then comes third part, which is nothing but the development. So we already have so many pages, so many pages in sense home page, cancellation page, payment page, many things, right? That I need to start coding it. That's what we call it as implementation. Exactly, actual coding will be done here. For example, for this, maybe we have to develop 50 pages. 50 web pages means they will be having 10 developers. In that 10 developers, what exactly they will do is module by module they use to develop according to the requirement. Okay, 8 in that itself, what they will do, 8 plus 2, they will do 8 of them. Mostly, I'm saying it based on some project reference. 8 of them will work on the development. Development in sense, okay. For example, I'll be doing homepage, another person doing some search page, another person add chart. Like that, one by one, we'll be doing this particular development. And within the development team itself, they will have a tester. Actually, testing is, we are the testing team, right? But they will have a testing because they will do unit testing. This is again an interview question. Who will do the unit testing? Is development team will do the unit testing. So how they do? Because okay, first page is developed, 8 developers, they, it means 8 pages are developed, right? So unit by unit or module by module, it will be tested before integrating. So they will test it and they try to find, is it working according to the requirement? Is according actual and the expected results are same? Yes, if it is same, fine. If it is not same, within the development team itself, they will have a defect tracking like Bugzilla, so many tools available. They will note down all the defect and the respective developer will work on it. So this is what happens in the development team. So, and here itself, 2 developments are there. One is front end, another one is back end. Back end means back end Java coding, all the stuff, whether the data are flowing between the database, all the interfaces, so many things. Back end. Front end testing means the using HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, the front design of the web pages, it's properly done or not. So web developers. So here 2 roles are there that will be done in the development. Then comes the testing, our area. So we are going to discuss a lot of things in testing, so many levels of testing there. Here, module by module, unit by unit is developed and they integrated. They integrated means they clubbed together and they will give it to us. Here only our works comes. So integration testing. After integrating all the web pages, is it properly working? And that application in different system, end-to-end testing. Like that, we have so many types of testings available, which we will be doing it. We will see this as a separate model that itself to our session. In short, we will be doing all types of testing other than unit testing. Unit testing means it will be done by the developer. Okay, we done this. Again, anyone asked what's the testing means, remember the actual and the, can you able to hear me? Yes, please put up a text message. Yes, no, from Zoom team. Whenever I ask from Zoom team, please help me. Yeah, why? Because sometimes some technical glitch will happen. Okay, testing is done. Now I want to deploy it. Deploy it means, okay, I will be giving a demo to the customers, the person who paid me. After that, okay, fine, this is good, everything, they are satisfied. Now what we will be doing, I'll be taking this to a prod production. Remember, whatever I'm scribbling here, adjust with the handwriting. These are all important terminologies, productions. And I already prepared a detailed documentation PDF. I'll be uploading that to the Canvas portal. You can refer from that. No worries. Here I'm just giving you an heads up. Deployment. So the we got an approval from the customers. Now I'll be deploying into the production environment, means live URL, so that anyone from anywhere from the anyone having an internet can able to use the application. That is what the deployment. So for that, we should get the approval, and we need to configure the domain like HTTP secure, that URL. They will have their, every company will have their own domain, right? If it's for India, .in, for Canada, .ca, like UK, .uk. So like that, they will configure all domains and deploy it. And after that, maintenance. Maintenance means you already launched the product. So definitely it's not, we will get some feedback from the customer, right? They will say this particular thing is not working, it is taking more time to load. Or there may be after testing also someone will find some faults. In sense, customers will find some faults. They will give the feedback. If you don't believe me, go to the Android Studio, go and check some app. In that feedback review comment, someone would have been saying this is not working, this thing is happening. Instead of these many testing, customers also will able to find something and they will post it. So what we need to do in the maintenance, okay, we understood like this particular feature having an issue, so they will update the feature. Again, they will go and work on this design part, start developing and coming up with an update. You see, usually we'll get mobile updates, right? So this app is performance improved, security added, like that, some GUI changed. So such things will happen in the maintenance. So maintenance means to implement some new features as requested by the clients or customers. And sometimes market change in the market suddenly. Some of, okay, your competitor will come with some new idea that I need to implement in my product. So all these things will happen. So we have almost 6 levels, 6 to 7 levels. Require first analysis, understanding the product. Mostly this will be done by the customer side. Requirement, understanding the requirement based on that, designing the product, how it should be front end, and then development, the front end plus back end coding part. After that, I'm going to test it and going to deploy that in the production. Between that, many environment is there, and then maintaining my product. So this is the levels of software development life cycle. And the same process, it was followed in a different way. For example, we have waterfall model. In this, testing team will never come into the picture. We will come in the later part. And we have something called V model. V model means the testing team will come here. And every time the problem is this one, deployment in the production, this will happen after 6 months, after 1 year. Just imagine you started some product development, you're going to launch in the market after 1 year. Suddenly that may be an outdated, right? So some problems, so market change, that is where comes agile. So you have to understand each model as a product, or what is an advantage based on the product, which model I want to choose it. So don't by heart the theory, because manual testing interview, even though it looks like easy, we can able to easily understand the person whether understood the topic in depth or not by asking or by comparing the each SDLC model. Okay, so this is done. Let's move to the next topic. Again, never forget this one, software testing principles. I'm going to teach you 7 rules actually. These 7 rules, when you're going to test, you should apply. This is like, okay, I should follow these rules. If you follow this rule, then only you can become a quality tester. As I already said, anyone can become a manual tester, but only few can become a quality tester. This is a statement written in IST QP front page. So let's try to understand. I'll try to share some cheat codes. Just apply that. First, early testing. So early testing means what? These are all the 7 things. We'll see one by one. Early testing means um, in some phase, actually in some model, what will happen is, for example, so let's go to that model. See, this is a waterfall model. The QA team, testing team will come here only. So it means after 6 months of the development, you will come. But in V model, you see, V model, if we take, the testing team will come, our testing team involvement will be there in every stage. So, okay, what is the matter in that is, the main thing about early testing is we have so many, just now we saw this requirement, coding, integration, system testing, production release. No, your duty is to find the mistake, nothing called a defect or a bug. So for that, some cost, money, price will be there for fixing it. So that is what defect fixing cost. When you find that in early stage, in requirement stage, it's going to be like a 1x. If you're going to find the defects in the coding stage, maybe like it's not exact data, you can visualize it 5x, 5 the amount of this. In integration testing, SIT, this is done by the our testing team. It's going to be between 10x or 15x. And remember, if it is found in the production main environment, it is going to be 30x. Such a very big amount. So as a company needs to save some money, so what the first rule is, we have to bring the testing early as possible. If you're going to, because testing when it comes in the early stage, definitely we can able to have a proper requirement. And here also unit testing and how early you're going to find maximum defect is going to reduce it. So that's what the first rule. So in what is the best way? What is the better way is V model or agile, where early testing will be done. We also work with the development team in every part of the development. So any defects in the requirement or design in the early stage, it's much better. See, it's cheaper to fix a defect in early stage of the testing. This agile is fully designed based on this early testing. First rule, never forget early testing. Why you want to do early testing? How early you find the defect? The fixing cost is very less. That's the reason. Straightforward. Then comes testing is context dependent. What do you mean by context dependent? The way you're going to test an e-commerce website or a banking application or a medical application or a travel agency or advertisement are not same. That's the point. Or not same in sense, you can't put the same approach here. If it is a e-commerce website, some other approach. So what are all the approach? What are all the testing technique and all? We are going to see at the end, later part of this training. And how to test according, we call this as a domain knowledge. What is that? Domain knowledge. So here, are we going, am I going to teach this means? Definitely no. I will share you a document. In that document, you will have a sample test case. Like If it is a banking application, what is an approach I should follow? Approach means same this approach only writing in SIT, UIT, but the thought process will be different for a banking application. If it is an insurance, what I should consider very important thing. For example, banking means that cost plays a very important role. Even $0.001 or that mistakes will lead to big problem. The transactions between each parties, that's the major factor. When you talk about a medical application, here more than cost, what is important is the measurement. That is, you're going in now it is not like a prescription. If you see nowadays, or when you go to a doctor, they will select all the medicine in that application. So just imagine, instead of 10 ml, if it is going to be 100 ml, what will happen? Leads to death, right? So there, that application test scenarios, how should I write? Which part I should take more? Which one should I take or give importance to which module? Like that, medical will vary. Travel, when you talk about a travel, cost plus some fancy plan. Insurance, totally a different approach. So like this, remember the way you test this particular application or a domains are totally different. I am a fresher, but when I try for a job, which domain I want to use? This is a very widely asked questions to me. You can use insurance, anything, but don't use banking. Now itself, I'm saying don't use banking projects unless you work in a banking project. Mention it in your resume, because banking domain knowledge is a very vast one. Lot of complicated questions can be asked from that area. So this is a danger zone for interviews. Which is safer zone means medical application, telecommunication, insurance and all, very safer zone. You can if you, because in your resume you will be having multiple projects, no? If you really work, that's a different story, but you didn't work in sense, then what we should not mention, never mention banking. It's going to be tough. So what they are saying, that again rule testing is context dependent. The way you test all this application is going to be totally different. So you have to learn that. That's the first part. That's what they say, different requirement, functionality, different purpose. Just now I said no purpose, here money, here safety. Here the company should not be fooled by the customers with fake insurance policy. Like that. That's what they mean. Testing purpose and risk technique. So many techniques we have it. We'll discuss that. And then that is why they say context dependent. Everything is using a different approach. So it's a testing is purely context of the domain. I have a document I'll give you for sure. I will upload that into the Canvas portal. You can go and download from that one. So we are done two things. Try to bring testing as early as possible. Testing is context dependent. The way you test each domains are totally different. So now itself, when you're going to project your resume, now itself from the starting itself, you can decide which domain is better, which one I can put it into my resume. Just have an idea about this. Very important for clearing interviews. Then comes exhaustive testing. Exhaustive testing is not possible. Okay, what they say is, for example, you want to check in a field. Let's take the age should be greater than 18 age. You want to test this. If you put a number like less than that, okay, 17 means it should not allow, or it should say your age should be greater than 18. So how many values you will test it? Think so. Will you put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? If you test like that, time will not be enough. And positive, if it is greater than 18, how many values will you test it? 18, 19, 20 till 100. If it is a Japan, more than 100. So those many values, you can't test it. It's impossible. That's what they say. Exhaustive testing is not possible. Then what is the way? We have to use some testing technique, which we will be learning it. That needs to be applied here. Maybe if it is this, I will try with 17, 18, 19. This is on the limit. This is a negative scenario. This is a positive scenario. I'll go for it. Just three values only I will apply. So this decision making is important. In the interviews, they give the scenario. How will you test this field? Same way, how will you test the first name? How will you test the last name? How will you test the phone number? The testing technique, you should know it. Which one suit the better way? So that's what they say. We have to testing is sorry, exhaustive testing is impossible. So exhaustive testing means verifying the all functionality of the software, both valid and invalid, and precondition everything. But it is not possible to test all the functionality with all the combinations of valid value, invalid value, which we discussed with this age example. So instead of that, what they are saying, you can use some techniques, testing technique. We have like 4 to 5 techniques that if you apply, you can create a very quality test cases. So here some examples are given. More than this, we will just for understanding, if you have an age between 18 to 31, it should allow means how I am going to test this application. Will I take these many values, or again n plus 1, n minus 1 technique is there where I will choose these three value, just 6 values only I will test it. But here you see, that is what the trick we have to learn. I'll be teaching you that very soon. So exhaustive testing is not possible. Third one is done. Fourth one, defect clustering. Actually, this is the hack, or this is the cheat code. If you know how to use this, you will become a quality tester. The word, yes, I am one of the best tester in my team means how can you become? You should know how to apply this defect clustering. It says that there is something called Pareto principles. Any product, any software, if you take 80% of the defects or problem will be found in 20% of the modules. So what exactly says? So just one small example, if you have a functionality like account summary, fund transfer, overdraft, standing instruction. So out of this, more defects are found in these two modules. That is what they say, 80% of problems. Many defects are found in very important modules. Then how will you identify that module? I'll tell that soon. So, but you should know how to apply the defect clustering. Very simple. I can go and check. You are entering you into a team. They are asking you to start the testing. So what we can do, we can go and check the previous execution report, how it was there for last 1 year, 2 year. You can go and analyze the defect. If you do that, you can understand, okay, payment model is the something entire team raised lot of defects. What I will do, I'll go, for example, in the previous release, 100 defects raised. In that, almost like 40 defects are raised in the payment. So what should I do? I should focus too many things on here. And 30 defects are raised in transfer, something, money transfer. Are remaining how many defects? 40 will be there. Okay, 30, 40, 30. 30 will be there. This is all the pages. So now what should I do? First, I should learn how to, I should understand all the payment process, online transfer process, all these stuff. That is the first test case. I will take it for testing. I will try to put lot of defects in the day one itself. So this is what the defect clustering. All the experienced resource will follow this mechanism, Pareto principles. Remember, they will ask you this question: how will you start a testing? If you say I will apply the defect clustering, in curiosity, okay, could you explain that one? Then you have to tell the such. 20%, 80% of the defects or problem found in 20% of the module. So we are done with 4 principles. And now comes pesticides paradox. What that mean? For example, if you know any agriculturist or if you're from that agriculture background, usually they use pesticides to kill the insects. But at one point of time, what will happen? This insects will get used to that pesticides itself. Same thing. If you put nowadays, when you especially when you have mosquitoes in your area, you put a lot of brands available. Now it's not getting killed. Then they come up with new brand of or new updated version of that mosquito coil. Then only it will die. So that is what pesticide paradox. This insects get used to that. It get adapted to that. Same thing will happen in testing also. So you have written some test cases. Let's assume 100 test case. 100 test case means how you're going to test all entire application in 100 different ways, like that. You are doing testing, and you found maybe first releases, you found like 50 defects. After that, when release increases, if it reduces at one point of time, what will happen? It comes and maybe it becomes a fixed one. After that, you can't find any new defect, means this pesticide paradox happened. So that is what they say. To overcome this, what we need to do? We need to be regularly review or understand, is there any test cases newly added or updated accordingly, or any other approach do I want to implement for a new modules which was added. So that we have to look for it. Then again, the defects will rise. The defect counts decides many things in the testing project. Managers can easily understand the quality of work, how the team is doing from the defect counts itself, and so many priorities, severities there. It will be known just by seeing the defects itself. It will directly say what type of a testers you are. So pesticide paradox, what you need to do, you have to frequently review and update the test cases for different scenarios to find more defects. Same test case, no one is updated means that's it. It's not going to find a defect. Okay. Now comes testing shows the presence of defects. I hope you all watch some advertisements where they say it kills only 99.9%. I don't think any advertisement in this world they say 100%. Then it's going to be a big problem. No one can say a product is 100% defect free, because that's a nature law. Definitely somewhere some issue in your product or application or anything, it will be there, which we may not know it. That's what they say. Testing shows the presence of defects. So how the objective of a testing is to find the defect. We are going to apply all the techniques, methods, everything, but still there will be some hidden defects, or else undiscovered defects also will be there. So if no defects are found in your application, it does not mean it's a defect free. So it's a very hypothetical way to explain this. So when someone says, is it a defect free? You tested everything 100% clearly, means you should not say yes, everything tested, no defect. You should not say that word. Rather than you should say, I have tested according to the requirement, all the test cases, there is no defect. So it means what? The customer gave some requirement. Based on that, I wrote some scenarios. I tested in that no defects, no issues. That's what we have to explain it. So if a tester cannot find a defect after repeating regression cycle, doesn't mean 100% bug free. So it means what? Definitely some undiscovered defects will be there in your application. Is it a big mistake of testing team? Definitely no. We followed all the process. We understood the requirement and it is there. But it should not be a very worst defect. For example, as I already said, testing is context dependent. You should know how to test a healthcare application where each ml, that quantity is very, very important. Very, very important quantity here. So that accuracy of a testing from that area, some defect should not come. But somewhere in the application, small defect means that's okay, no problem. It will not be a big impact for the business. Okay. And then comes seventh one, the last rule, absence of error. Again, if a software is you have tested fully and you say yes, no defect, everything is 100% defect free means, but you say it's, but what if you have taken a wrong requirement? You have tested against a wrong requirement. In another word, if I want to put it in simple words, you tested everything correctly, but for the wrong requirement, not as per the requirement. So this talks about the requirements. So there are some words we should never come, we should always use to play a safer game in interviews. Whenever you say testing, it is tested according to the requirement. Suppose if you are not testing according to a requirement, definitely you can't find a defect and you can proud about your product. There is no defect, but this will backfire you. So always stick to the requirement. In such case, even finding a defect, fixing them on the time would not be help, as the testing is performed on wrong requirement, which is not a part as per the needs. That's what they mean to say. So software which does not and 99% bug free, and it is not only you should not always worried about a defect. You should always fulfill the business by properly testing according to the requirement, or else what, your application is unstable. Very simple. So these are all the 7 rules you should always apply when you're going to start this one. And remember, as a beginner, this is the first time I'm entering to the manual testing means always keep applying this rule. Okay, let me put early testing. It is not in our end. It is according to the project. We no need to worry about it. But testing is context dependent. You have to do the homework. In sense, you should go and read multiple blogs. It's in your hand. No one can teach this topic. And this is the one place it will differentiate you and rest of the team members. You should learn it. And this is like independently you should learn it based on the project you're going to explain in an interview. And exhaustive testing is not possible. So we will be learning the testing technique. So it's a common, again, we have to learn it. Defect clustering, this is based on the past data. So we can't do anything. For this, is it possible for you to do hard work now? No. Once you enter into a project only, you can do this. And pesticide paradox means you have to understand the project, all the requirement. Accordingly, if there is any change in the requirement, we have to go and update these things. And when you're going to test something, you have to make sure you're following the requirement. If you follow the requirements and checking the actual results equal to the expected results, then it is passed. If it is not equal, then it is defect. So this word, what are all the word? Testing according to the requirement, actual result, expected results, defects, passed, fail. These words, you should keep using it while explaining about some process. Requirement, because in some cases, they will ask you, you're going to test an application, you will get in this output, unexpected output. How will you test it? They are checking your fundamentals. You will say, I will write a test case for the new scenario. They itself saying the output is, it can be anything. It's not, we will know only at the time of testing means what the rule says. If you don't know what is the expected results, then we can't test it. That's not come under the testing part. So before we start real testing itself, we should understand the application. For example, in the phone number, you're going to enter a character, means it should say like only numbers are allowed. So these are all something we should know in advance. Test case will be written. But if you're going to get some results which you never know, that means then that is not a testing. So the interviewer expectation is whether you know that concept or not. So those things will fall for this. So you can't say 99%. When you say I have tested according to the requirement, means these twos are done. This point, no need to worry about it. So these are all the software testing technique. Anywhere you can apply. Even in automation team, we will be applying this. So now, 1 second. So if you have any queries, Zoom team, please put it in text. So Chetan, almost somewhat near to that one. That's why explaining that 2 point is little bit confused for many ones. So that's why I put it in terms of requirement. You have to test according to the requirement. First thing, see, you have to test according to the requirement. After testing according to the requirement, if you say there is no defect, it is not like 100% defect free. There will be some hidden defect. Simple. We can conclude like that. Test according to the requirement and close all the defect. Even if there is no defect, you should not say it's 100% perfect. There will be some hidden defect. These 2 points you can conclude like that. So just put a message yes from the Zoom team. Everyone understood the concept? All good till now? Even YouTube guys can put your message. Okay. Thank you for the reply. Okay. Waterfall model, I thought to start this today. Okay. Since it's day one class, I don't want to pressurize too much because I want to club topics in as same categories of video. Because what we learned today is all the smoke testing, early testing and all, we will be learning it in future AV music. So this is an independent topic, that is 7 principles of testing. And then we learned software development lifecycle. These are all the levels we have to apply for different model. So this model, what we will be doing is tomorrow we will be applying it to the waterfall model, iterative model, and then spiral model, V model. So same, tomorrow's video is all about all these 4 modules and do the comparison. So if you know that video, then this full part is done. Once this is done, again, some questions are asked regarding the unit testing, early testing, everything. We have it in the upcoming slides. Advantage, see here, unit testing, smoke testing, system, regression, integration. So this part, like from day 3 or day 4, it's all about in-depth about testing. The syllabus, the same syllabus. Okay, it's in this website. 1 minute, team. So you can go to this website. You have it. So this one online, initially the plan is to teach online only automation, but I thought to start manual testing also. So this is what we are going to learn. I followed a different approach. Sequence will be changed, but if you want to know what are all the topics we are going to learn in the manual testing, Here it's clearly mentioned. You can go and check it. And then for Zoom meeting, guys, please stay back. And if you don't have the Canvas portal access, let me know. When you view this as a student view, here the manual testing module is available. This is previous batch PDF. I'm going to update. A lot of new contents are added. I'll be adding that, the updated version. And then today's video link I'll be updating here. And you have the quiz. As of now, please don't touch this part. I'm saying it again. Once we complete everything, then you go and okay, this topic I have understood fully. Then you go and attend this quiz and types levels of testing. And we have one particular class how to write the test case. Once that is done, then you go and check this one. Here you will have like different domain like insurance application, banking application, how to write the test cases pattern, 20 sample test cases. We will have it, a very big document. As of now, don't see this, don't attend this area. Once you all done this, you have an assignment. You have to choose one particular domain. In that 10 scenarios, step by step, you have to complete and attach me. Then all things are done. You have an MCQ, multiple choice questions only. This is like an exam. After completing this, you attend this one. You will know where you stand. Some topic, if you're going to do mistake, so you have to go and revisit that particular topic, get clarified. This is definitely tough exam. And all this MCQ, multiple choice question, quiz, assessment, and all single attempt only. Don't go and open it. I can't reset your score again. So no second attempt. So Zoom team, make sure what you should do is rewatch this recording, use this PDF, and don't touch this area. As of now, I will tell when to touch this area. Like that, we have Agile, Jira, and other modules we'll discuss in the future class. So that's for today, team. I don't want to had all the thing. Yes, Canvas access. Yes, it's for the paid members, guys. PPT, everything, it's for the paid members whoever joined the training. And this, it's not a daily online class. The online class, it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday, 6 to 8. Today, I'm winding up early. Till because 5th August, I'm starting the Selenium. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 classes we will have it. And after that, some topics will be pending. Maybe in between some days, I will try to come live and complete the syllabus. But for automation, remember team, we are starting from the 5th August. So if I'm unable to complete syllabus, manual testing, some in between some day, evening time, I will come live and teach you all. So it will be completed and all the videos will be available for sure. It will not be in unlisted. So manual testing can be accessed by everyone in this team. So that's for today. I'm going to stop sharing it and going to stop the live. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Tomorrow we'll see team Zoom meeting team. Please wait. We'll discuss. I have some updates. I'm going to stop the live for YouTube. Thank you guys. Please. Thank you guys. Bye all. So, see you tomorrow.